Now, remember when New York Governor Andrew Cuomo claimed that he needed 30,000 vents within 2 weeks? Well, if he didn't get them, he said people were going to die. It was really scary. Well, we at the Ingram Angle were skeptical. That number seemed absurdly high based on the revised data, which we started talking about on Tuesday night with Dr. Fauci. Well, it turns out we were right.
Yes, they're in a stockpile because that's where they're supposed to be, because we don't need them yet. We need them for the apex.
Well, joining me now is Rudy Giuliani, former New York City mayor. Rudy, it's great to see you tonight. Well, he said they're in a stockpile where they're supposed to be. The president seemed a little perturbed today that they send, well, I don't know, 4,000? I don't know how many exactly arrived, but they're a lot, and they're not deployed anywhere. They're just sitting there. But what about Cuomo, and is he just taking care of his state the way he should be? Maybe over-projecting, but why is that a bad thing?
First of all, I think by and large he's done a really good job, and the president has done a superb job. There is a tendency to overstate for your state. I went through this a number of times with the West Nile virus, with anthrax, and of course on 9/11. I tried not to. And I tried not to because I didn't want to lose credibility. In one case, I was dealing with Bill Clinton, so I was dealing with the opposite party. The other case, I was dealing with President Bush, but I also understood the president's got demands from all over the world, all over the country, you know, in the case of anthrax. So I don't want my demand to look ridiculous. Now, this looks like a case where they didn't know, I mean, the right hand didn't know what the left hand was doing, which can happen in a situation like this. So you sort of back off. Maybe you make a little apology for it. The most important thing is to keep up good relations.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think the president has said many times, which I think, again, is why his numbers, not that that's what's important, but I think people like the fact that he says, I'll work with anybody. To get this country going again and to protect people, I don't care where you come from, what party you come from, what company you come from, I'll work with anybody. That's the kind of thing we need to hear in a crisis, in my view. And I think you did that after 9/11. You did the same thing.
A little advice for the governors and the mayors, having been in that position in 3 extraordinarily difficult situations. I'd say one equal to this. Take the blame when you have to. You know, if you play with your boss, sometimes it's better if you don't win the golf game. He's the boss. He's got all the resources. I don't say that he's going to be affected in giving out resources one way or another, but it's just human nature that if you act like a responsible guy and he's got real confidence that you're doing what you're doing, he's going to give you everything you want. I think you could ask President Bush to this day. I don't think there's a single thing I asked him for he didn't give me right away. I don't think there's a single thing I asked him for that I didn't really need. So that's the kind of confidence that has to develop. I thought that was happening between Trump and Cuomo, Trump maybe even a Newsom. So let's see if we can get back on it. But by and large, compared to some of the others, like my completely absent mayor, Cuomo is a hero.
Yeah. Well, I think de Blasio still, we don't have to belabor the point, but de Blasio's been smashing the president, which
he let people out of prison.
Yeah, well, this crazy judge on just yesterday, Rudy, let out this guy who stabbed his girlfriend multiple times in the chest from Rikers, ordered him and 15 others released because the Legal Aid Society petitioned the judge because they're worried about their health at Rikers Island. I'm thinking, this guy murdered his girlfriend in June of 2018. This is the case I'm putting up on the screen for you. And now this guy's going to go free, a murderer.
Have they really gone wacko? I mean, the fact is, the reason they're arguing they should get out of Rikers Island is Rikers Island is rampant with coronavirus. So we are putting out on the street people coming from a place that's rampant with coronavirus into a city that's the epicenter
on the streets.
Of coronavirus. And I'm being told to stay home. I'm being told to stay in my apartment. Don't leave, or as little as possible. I mean, this is crazy. I wanted to bring to your attention Dr. Zelenko's report. I hope you saw that. 669 cases treated with the hydroxyquinoline and the Zithromax, and he adds zinc to it. So far, 669 cases, 5 hospitalizations, 2 intubations, no deaths. And we're talking about a large number of people over 70 years old. So I'm going to keep a close track on
we're
that.
We're seeing great results. But Rudy, you've seen this in your career in politics and in your time in government, federal government and state government. But you get the sense that the media,